Welcome back to another reading vlog, and this one is the most excited I have been to film a reading vlog because we are just culminating all aspects of my personality into this video. Oh my goodness. I am going to be vlogging the next few days as I read Katabasis, sorry, not Katabasis, Katabasis by R.F. Kuang. But as well as reading this, which is probably my most anticipated book of the year, it is also today the 1st of September when I'm recording this, which means autumn has arrived. Like, autumn is here and the inner American white teenage girl in me ascends and I just become a monster. So the goal today is to get out all of my autumn decor, put the house to rights, read a good chunk of Katabasis, and spend the next few days together. I am off work today, but tomorrow I am in the office, and then the next day I'm also in the office. So I am gonna absolutely devour today and just take it for me and take it nice and slow. I am so excited because on the first day of autumn, the weather is overcast, it is gloomy, it is grey, which I shouldn't be excited about, but I absolutely am. But before we get into it, let me give you a quick rundown on what Katabasis is actually about. So Katabasis follows the story of Alice Law. In this universe, magic is a degree that you can study and you can become an academic in, and Alice is absolutely that. But she is so close to getting her PhD signed off and getting her job and getting kind of into her actual life when her professor dies. So what else does she do apart from journey to hell to try and beg to get him back? However, the other person who is kind of her academic rival, Peter Murdoch, has the exact same idea and he catches her. So of course they have to go down to hell together. The quote on the back of this is honestly one of my favorite quotes that I've ever read on the back of a book. It says, "Alice Law, you naughty girl, you're trying to go to hell." So from the tiny bit that I have read of this so far, it's really interesting. It's unlike R.F. Kuang's other works in the sense that you dive into the action instantly. Babel, I absolutely loved Babel, one of my favorite books of all time, but there's a good 150, 200 page chunk of kind of setup. But this one, it's like, we're in, bam, bish, bash, bosh, which is different for Miss Rebecca, which is very, very exciting. It's really interesting because I've seen R.F. Kuang talk about this book, and obviously this is about a descent into hell, the underworld, and in a few interviews, she said that she takes a lot of inspiration in this book from Alice in Wonderland, which I am so excited to see how those different elements meld. I've seen a few criticisms online about this being too academic, but that is why I love dark academia. I want to learn from the book. Like Babel, I loved all that. I mean, I studied linguistics at university. I've got a degree in linguistics. So I found Babel incredible. And this one, I'm so excited to learn about a new realm of academia. So let's start the day. It's still pretty early, and then we can get into some reading. Welcome to my living room. The first thing we've got up, look at these. This is a little autumn leaf, what is it, bunting that we've put over like the fireplace, and the fireplace now is looking like really, really cute. That stool's in the way, but you get the gist. Like, look how sweet they are. I'm just obsessed. I'm really loving our living room right now. We've lived here for about 3 months, and we've got this display up of art on the wall, which we've got like Florence the Machine, Aurora, some beautiful pieces of art. And then this came ready painted this colour when we moved in. So the sofas we brought did not match. So we got sofa covers, which are fine for now. Like they'll do. Obviously the bookcase is also painted green. So this is my living room bookcase. And I'm just very happy with the vibes of the living room right now. Okay, so I'm about to head out to the shop to buy some bits and bobs for lunch for Zach and I. Last night, I hate to say it, but I popped off. I got like a big gammon joint and I slow roasted it in the oven with like a hot honey glaze on the top, and it was delicious. We had that for dinner last night, but we're gonna have the leftovers today in like a salad. So I thought you could come along with me. We'll do a little bit of a shop with me. In the UK, we've had a really, really dry summer. And we're getting what we call a false autumn, which is basically where the trees, because they're so dry, are assuming like it's time to drop the leaves. I don't know, I'm not a gardener, but apparently it's happening. So all of the parks in the UK look peak autumn right now, which is sad because that's not what nature's supposed to be doing, but the aesthetic of it, I like it. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some tomatoes, some rocket. I think I'm gonna do like a boiled egg with it, like a very classic British salad for our lunch. And then I figured every 100 pages of Katabasis, I'm gonna do a little reading wrap up, reading review, kind of see where we're at. So yeah, every 100 pages, and I think there's like 500 or 600 pages or something. So yeah, that's the plan. I've been figuring this all out in my head, people. Don't worry, I've got you. I got you. Okay, I've just been recording some reels and TikToks in this corner. How cute does it look? I'm obsessed. And I'm 100 pages now into Katabasis by Kuang. And honestly, I'm absolutely loving it. When I say it starts off quick, like you are in the story, bam, crash, wallop, I absolutely see the influences of Alice in Wonderland in there. And I think it's great. I really am enjoying the academic-ness of it all, I guess you could say. And again, I keep seeing the criticism that it's too academic, and although it is a lot, like you have to do a bit of Googling alongside reading it, it's incredibly enjoyable. It's really interesting because the academic side of it makes it read like adult fiction, but then the relationship between the two main protagonists, although because they're PhD students, I'm guessing like early mid-20s, it feels like a teenage relationship. And I think that's nicely explained by like they've dedicated their whole life to studying and they're academic rivals, and because they haven't weirdly entered the kind of adult world yet, if that makes sense, they've always had academia, so they've not been like, do you know what I mean by that? They behave in a way that doesn't reflect kind of like someone in their mid-20s, but they're obviously these incredibly intelligent academically, but socially there's a few wires missing. Their relationship is interesting. I can kind of see where it's going, in all honesty, and I'm here for it. I'm ready for it to go in that direction. I would absolutely love that. But overall, so far, first 100 pages, love it. I love the world we're getting built for us. I love that we're slowly learning about this professor who's died, Professor Grimes. We're kind of slowly getting to know him through their anecdotes, and yeah, it's great. It's really good. Hello, it is me once again. I've not got much to report since we last spoke in terms of what I've done with my life, because all I've done is read Katabasis. Now, the light is very quickly dwindling, which is great, and it is also raining, and I feel very, very cozy. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I am taking autumn seriously already, but let's talk about the next 100 pages of Katabasis, because I have done it, I have read them, and the page I have just finished on, if you're reading this, is I'm gooped, I'm gagged, and I need to know what happens next. But I'm going to stop for today because tomorrow I've got a really busy day. I'm going to be in the office all day, so you probably won't get an update now until tomorrow evening when I get home from the office. But I'm so excited to just churn out another 100 pages of this book and tell you about it, because those 100 pages we've just had were so cleverly done. Now, this story, in reality, I mean, it's moving. There's a lot of different moving parts and a lot of different things happening, but at the core of it is, it's a relationship story. I think it's going to be enemies to lovers. I feel like I feel like that is also not a spoiler because it feels correct, right? But there is such a mix of adventure, of relationships, of academia, of learning, of education. It's so cleverly done. I feel like I'm not in a position yet to compare it to my thoughts on Babel, because I loved Babel, but I need to think about this contextually in terms of reading experience. I feel like that's something people forget when it comes to books, like reading experience. So I read, oh no, I've got to stay and look, isn't that embarrassing? I read Babel when it came out, like pretty immediately after it came out. And I was doing my first and only ever solo holiday abroad. So I went on the Eurostar to Brussels. I spent 3, 4, 5 days in Brussels. I can't remember now. It was a bit of a blur. And all it was me and Babel. And I felt so independent. I felt so alive. Reading that book in that context was just, it was impeccable to me. Like, I absolutely loved it. I feel like that's why I loved Babel so much. But I'm not on a solo holiday. I'm just living my little life and reading Katabasis, and I'm still enjoying it immensely. I will say one thing. This feels like a very grown-up version of Percy Jackson, which feels wild to say, but if you are reading this, you'll know what I mean. It feels like Percy Jackson for adults, which is great. Like, great. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving this so far. I am going to relax in for the evening. I will catch up with you probably after I've been in the office because I need to be at my desk for 9 a.m, which means I need to set off from my house at like 7:45 because Zach and I are going to walk into work, and the walk is like an hour long, and then I like to get there a little bit early anyway. So yeah, I will update you tomorrow evening. I'll let you know what we're doing with that evening, and then we can read some Katabasis together. Good evening. You join me in golden hour in my bathroom, so it might be a little bit echoey. So I have got home about an hour ago. We popped to the shop. Zach is making a dal tonight for us for dinner, and I am so excited. Today was actually really fun. So I don't think I've explained in this vlog actually, so if you're new, hello. Essentially I'm a freelancer. I work with, oh that sun! I work with various different brands and businesses, working on their social media, their influencer marketing campaigns, and I build them, I do the ideas, the delivery, the whole shebang essentially. And one of my clients has an office that they have compulsory sort of days they have to go in. I don't have to go in, but I quite like being around people and seeing them and saying hello. So that's why I've been with them today. I am not at page 300 of Katabasis just yet. I'm at like 280 something. Tonight Zach and I are going to watch some TV, but I'm hoping to get a bit of reading in. I'm back at the office tomorrow. So again, it's like an early start. It's not a book I particularly want to rush anyway. If this takes me a week to read, it takes me a week to read. I doubt it will. I think tonight I'll probably get to page 420. And then tomorrow night, what have I got on tomorrow night? Not much, to be honest with you. So I think tomorrow night I can get a really big chunk done. I'll be done in the next like 48 hours, I think. So bear with me. However, tonight, apart from reading, Zach and I have a few shows that we're watching at the minute, so let me tell you about those. So the first one is The Real Housewives of London. If you didn't watch episode 1, where have you been? We didn't watch last week, so we've got 2 episodes to catch up on now, and I can't wait. I love The Real Housewives, especially the British franchises. First episode of this one was great. I know it's a bit of an acquired taste. Oh my god, my tongue is blue. Had some sweets earlier on. They were blue. Where was I? Housewives, yes. Love the Housewives. I know it's an acquired taste, but hey, I've acquired it. Me and Zach have absolutely acquired it. And then after that, we've got 1 episode left of a TV show called Slow Horses. If you don't know, it's on Apple TV. It is insane. We have sped through seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got the last episode of season 4 to watch. Essentially, it's about MI5 and a kind of like outpost of MI5, which is full of people who've been rejected, but because they've signed the Secret Services Act, they can't just like fire them. So they're kind of like the delinquents, the misfits, and they get in all kinds of shenanigans. It's great. Gary Oldman is in it and he is impeccable. We're really enjoying it. So 3 hours of TV to watch after we've had dal, and then I can finally read something. So yes, I'm gonna go have my dinner now, and then I will speak to you later. I have been a terrible vlogger this week. I won't lie to you. I'm still getting the hang of this, people. Please don't judge me. But it is quite a few days later. Yeah, this week has escaped me. It's been one of those weeks where I haven't been able to read as much as I wanted to because life just been crazy. Work has been mentally busy. I think last time I spoke to you, Zach and I were having our Real Housewives date night. That was bloody great fun, I tell you. That was so much fun. We had a little wine, we had a little giggle, so much fun. And the past few days I've been in the office, so it's been early starts, getting home late, fitting in exercise, making sure the house is clean, making sure I'm happy, and reading it's crazy sometimes. The balance is a struggle. Anyway, I've got some exciting things to tell you about right now. We've got an autumn homeware haul I'm about to give you, and a little quick update about Katabasis. So I'm finishing this today. I can promise you that. I am finishing this book today. I've given you my page 0 to 100 update. I've given you my 100 to 200 update. I have done 200 to 300, and I'm halfway through 300 to 400, if that is making any kind of sense. Mental maths, people. So my review of page 200 to 300, again, positive. I think it's great. There has been twists, there has been turns, there has been a lot of kind of coming of age thought processes kind of thing. I love how RF Kuang is doing something really clever that I'm really enjoying. It's basically having all this action, but when there are moments of kind of like downtime, she intersperses with a chapter giving you their personal lore. So completely removed from the fantasy hell element about their university life, about their home life, about their sort of just general everyday existence and how they've got to this position as a human being. And I am loving that character exposition. I think it's great. I am thoroughly attached to these two characters now, the two main protagonists we've got in here. Interestingly enough, I feel like after every 100 pages, she hits us with this like hook. She hits us with this hook and you're like, oh my goodness me, what? Which is great. Some of the elements like that read kind of thriller-esque in the sense that there is always a little hook at the end of a chapter to keep you reading, which I think is really, really important. So we are still going strong on this book. I'm very, very excited. Later on, I will give you my review of page 300 to 400, and then we'll do that one final review end for the last kind of like 140 pages or something. But so far, so good, people. Now though, now it is time to talk about autumn. I feel like I've made it very clear in this vlog that I am an autumn boy. Like, I absolutely love it. It is my favourite time of year. So I popped to the shops and I got a few bits and bobs to decorate the house in autumn because I don't know if I've said it in this vlog, but we have just moved into this house. And by just, I mean like 3.5, 4 months ago. So quite a while, but we are still getting used to it. We are still decorating. It is our first autumn winter in this home and I can't wait. So let me show you the bits that I got. You can see our living room is quite green. There's a lot of dark green, but we've also got these cushions. You can just see down here, they're like burnt orange. So I got a little throw to match, a little tartan throw. It's really cute, just so I can wrap up warm, have my coffee and read my book under a themed blanket. And then I also bought this. Look at it. No, I'm sorry, look at it. It's not a doorstop or anything, it's just a little pumpkin cushion thing, and it's sitting on the sofa, it's sitting on the bed. I just think it's beautiful and gorgeous. It's beautiful. Okay, I bought 3 candles and I've already started burning one, which is the apple pumpkin notes of nature. It's delicious. I am obsessed with candles that smell like cake and like a bakery. That is my absolute pinnacle. Whereas Zach is the complete opposite. He wants a candle to smell like fresh linen and just cotton and that kind of thing. So we're on the opposite things here. I think this is kind of a nice intersection. It has an apple scent, like a fresh, zingy apple scent, but it's got like a hint of vanilla in there, which if you put vanilla in a candle, you can call it cookie or anything. And then I bought this one especially for Zach. It's called Cabin Hideaway. Look how green it is, matches the front room. It's a very masculine scent. It smells like some of the fragrances we wear just on a day-to-day. Cedarwood and sandalwood. I feel like whenever you pick up any men's fragrance, it always has sandalwood in there. Woody, it is like the outdoors. It is just gorgeous. And I love the aesthetic of it and I don't mind the scent. And then the last candle that I bought is kind of for me. Look, it's a little pumpkin, green pumpkin candle. You can take the lid off. It's quite tight, hang on. This one is definitely more for me. A fun tip, actually, you probably all know this, but you're meant to smell the top lid of the candle rather than the wax because that is the vapors, the scent of the vapors coming off, which is what the candle will actually smell like in your home. I feel like I've got a lot of energy today. This smells incredible. This is definitely more sweet, vanilla-y, cakey kind of smell, but it's so cute. 2 last things. This jug, which we've just put a little something in, it's going to live on there actually. I think this is gorgeous with the kind of gingham. It's kind of more summery, I won't lie, but I just think it suits the living room anyway. Look, it's going to sit right there. Like, how lovely is that? Maybe a little bit off center. And then finally, are you joking? A little mushroom plate to put my rings on. Look. Like I said, today is a big reading day for me. So I'm now going to read another chunk of Katabasis and I will get back to you with my thoughts on page 300 to 400. Hello, kids. I've returned. Listen, hear me out here. The last 100 pages have been a drag. There was this big plot event, no spoilers. It was wild. It was crazy. And then everything kind of shifted. And the past 100 pages have just been a little bit absurd, which is I'm definitely seeing the Alice in Wonderland references, but my goodness me, it has been a bit of a drag. And I'm hoping something happens that will change it because honestly, I've just not enjoyed the past kind of like 40 pages specifically, but I can't see an end to this section. And we've only got 140 pages to wrap this up, Miss Rebecca. So I'm a little bit nervous, I won't lie to you. It just lost its rhythm, its momentum instantly for me. And it got a lot more introspective. We're learning a lot about the characters, but the action and just, I'm in such 2 minds about this. I've just been sat here for the past kind of 10 minutes, just sat here thinking like, what is going on? Why am I not what's happened. I'm not saying it's not enjoyable. It is absolutely enjoyable, but the key elements and the key things I was really enjoying before this plot twist have just gone. They've dissipated, and I'm really hoping we can pull it back. Very quick update, but I'm hoping I'm keeping you on the edge of your seat here. I'm now gonna go finish this. We will finish up this video and we will get final thoughts. Okay, it's gonna be a little while. You are on the reading rocking chair and we're gonna talk about Katabasis by R.F. Kuang because I've done it. I've finished it. It was a journey, let me tell you. I love Rebecca Kuang. I've seen she's already announced the book she's releasing next year, which is crazy. It's literary fiction, World War II. It's called Taipei Story. I'll be there. I'll be reading it. So the last time I spoke to you, I was having a tricky time. It was, I didn't really want to like dwell on the negatives, but it just really lost pace for me. And I would say there is a good 100 pages there towards the end that I just didn't enjoy. It harkened back to Babel and how that was paced. And because they set that expectation from the start with Babel, you kind of accept that it's going to be slower. This, you are straight in the action all the way through. It's bam, 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 bam. So to have in the kind of like the last third, it pull back and be very slow for a good chunk is interesting to me. I wasn't loving it. However, people, she changes the game. She changes the game. I see why that slower portion was necessary. I do. Character development, character realization. And I think those 100 pages did that. Not how I personally enjoyed it happening, but it happened. I feel like I'm talking very cryptically here. Essentially, the characters have 100 pages where they are very self-reflective and they're figuring things out and they come to some conclusions. That's what I'll tell you. And then you get the last kind of like 80 pages where they are acting on those conclusions, and boy, those 80 pages are stellar. This is absolutely an adult Percy Jackson. I hate to say it. No, I don't. I love to say it. It's Percy Jackson with adult elements and adult emotions, and I loved it. I absolutely needed it. The ending is not bam, cack, wallop. It's not fireworks and explosions and all that kind of thing, which is what Babel was. It's understated. It's a little bit slower. Doing these spoiler-free reviews is so difficult. There is points of crazy action in those last 80 pages where you are on the edge of your seat. It's like, whoa. And then you get to this final scene, this kind of like decisive final scene where the characters need to make this big choice. And I think it was done beautifully. There's a point where you're like, ooh, what are they going to do? Are they going to take this route? Are they going to take that route? And you're really not sure. And then there's the big reveal, and it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Overall, I would absolutely recommend picking up Katabasis. I think for me, Babel was a 5-star plus read. This for me is a 4, a solid 4, not a 4.5, and it doesn't feel like it deserves a 3 point anything. It's a solid dead on 4. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let's quickly wrap this up now. It has been a pleasure as always, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe. Read the description box down below for all the other kind of links. It has been a pleasure to speak to you, and I will see you very, very soon.